You assholes, if you have been with someone longer than a year and you are not engaged and you want to be engaged, leave! Okay, do you not understand? Leave! Okay.
I'm convinced that every single girl has that one guy that the guy either never liked them back or the guy just never gave him a chance, that like that girl will literally drop anything to be with. Not even be with, but I'm just like, go on a date or go do something. I'm like, I have that one guy from high school and I'm like, if he were to reach out, I would drop everything, all my hoes.
We interrupt this program to prescribe you with 1,000 milligrams of red vitamins.
Right here, right now, it's the right time, it's the right sound, right now, right now, tell the whole pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, tell the nigga pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, pipe down.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy ReclaimYourThrone coming at you with another crazy video. But first, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And you already know, Reclaim Your Throne.
Böyle burası. Böyle duruyorlar arkanda. Böyle bekliyoruz. Böyle bekliyoruz. Böyle. Sen kamera açınca bazıları rahatsız olup gidiyor bak. Böyle duruyor. Bekliyor orada böyle.
मतलब बात हुई थी पर एक बार बात हुई थी बीच में जब वो कॉल पे ही था उस टाइम वहीं पे थे हम भी पूछ लीजिएगा वो भी जानता है उनके सामने ही हम बात किए तो वो बोले थे कि भैया मतलब पेमेंट नहीं चल रहा अभी उनका मालूम है मेरे पे
böyle burası.
Alright, guys, so I wanted to show you this video because we know that if you guys are online and you're seeing what's happening, you have to see the smoke that India has been getting in the dating market in particular, okay? A lot of Indian men have started to speak up in the dating world, but the reality is that when they actually, when we actually look at, okay, what's going on in India, you have a lot of issues, a lot of non-consensual issues, I might say. A lot of weird things like what you're seeing in this video where a woman pulls out her phone and films herself, which is it's something very normal. But in this case, you just see these guys and they're giving her the hawk stare, like they're giving her the hawk eye because they want that, okay? They want that. And obviously this is a typical attention-seeking female, and she knows what she's doing. She knows the cultural differences in India, in the Western world or Eastern Europe or whatever you want to call it. She understands the cultural differences and just the development, the human development, the social development. If this was in America, maybe you have somebody throwing up the bunny ears or maybe saying something to her like, yo, get that camera out my effing face or whatever, or something like that. They might do something rude. But in this case, you just see there's a difference in the social awareness, the social aptitude between third world men and first world men. Now, when we speak about third world men, this is not anything to disparage them. This is just to show the difference, because a lot of women like to go online and use excuses or scenarios of very violent, very repulsive behavior coming from third world men and just be like, oh, well, men this and men that. But they don't understand how much privilege they have in the West, because if you go to these third world countries, not all, but for women, it is not very good, okay? And they're not really hospitable. They will do things against your will, and you just don't have the same amount of rights that you have in the United States. In this case, she could take this video. If she was in the United States and this happened to her in the street, she could take this video and say that she's being stalked and she wants restraining orders on all these men who look at her. I mean, that's how lenient and just gynocentric our legal system is in the United States. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys this video to give you some perspective. The men in the States, they have common sense. They have decorum, they have manners, and most men are very chivalrous, very generous when it comes to women. And I think that a lot of these women are just taking the regular men, the Malcolms, mildly attractive, lucrative, communicative, operational, likable men, for granted.
You assholes, if you have been with someone longer than a year and you are not engaged and you want to be engaged, leave! Okay, do you not understand? Leave! Okay, because they, if they wanted to, they would. I am telling you right fucking now, if they wanted to, they would. I pressured the first motherfucker. I should have never done it, okay? Leave. Okay, I'm telling you, nothing good is gonna happen from it, and he's going to fuck you in the end, because these guys can have kids till they're 80, but we can't, okay? We have no eggs by the time we're 40, basically. So, leave.
Well, at least she understands her own biology, something that we rarely see in the West today when it comes to modern women. But as you guys can see, she is BPD, borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder. You can see that this woman is absolutely bat-ish crazy, out of her mind. And the reason why men aren't committing to you, ma'am, madam, however you want to call it, or however you want to be called or addressed, is because of your demeanor, the way that you act, okay? This is not an unattractive woman. She could easily get one of these incel white boys who are online perpetually and deal with them. If she really wanted that commitment, they'll commit to her in a heartbeat. But who does she want? She wants Chad. She wants these higher status men. And the reality is they don't see her as wifey material. Now, for whatever reason that is, you know, it's you know, that's something that we'd have to evaluate. But white men are way more apt to getting married a lot quicker. They're way more likely to pull the trigger on a marriage and propose and be with one woman. So that is something that they're more likely to do. So the fact that she is not being able to acquire that, and she's not a bad looking woman. It looks like maybe she could lose some weight. You can see she's a little pudgy in the face. But she has a lot of potential. She has attractive qualities that a lot of men, especially white men, would find attractive. But you can tell that it is her personality. It also looks like she has some type of sorority shirt on. Very neurotic behavior. You see her screaming into the camera. This is just not something that men are looking for when it comes to personality, okay? And a lot of people love to say, oh, well, men are just shallow. They want a bad chick and they want the bottle girl, the Instagram model, the BBL girl. That's not true at all. Men are more likely to date a woman who's a 5, date a woman who's a 6, and marry that woman because of her personality. She's sweet. She's calm. She is demure, right? The new term that's going viral right now, demure, okay? She's all of these things in a bag of chips. And that is what men are looking for, right? She's in shape. She's thin. She doesn't have to be a baddie in the face with a pencil sharp nose and all this kind of stuff. Men just want peace. And obviously this woman is not bringing any man peace. And that is why she is still not married to this day. Now, what I will say is she's absolutely correct. Men have time. They have time we have time on our side. And women do not. So their eggs do get dried up by the time they're 32, and it's a lot more difficult to have children. That is an absolute fact, okay? And a year is, I do believe a year is probably long enough to determine you want to marry somebody. If this was 20 years ago, okay? 20 years ago, all you need is a year, all you need is 6 months. You know, Kevin Samuels used to say all the time, oh, you need 6 months. All he needs is 6 months to know that he would marry you. And that is true. In the first 6 months, a man looks at this woman. He said, okay, yes, she is doing wifey things. She is wifey material. But when you start to get into that deeper part of the relationship where you have longevity in the relationship, you start to see that everything that you thought this woman was is not actually what she is. So a lot of men start getting disillusioned, especially if they make the smart decision to wait. You should not be marrying a woman after a year. I don't care if she gives you an ultimatum, anything like that. You marry her when you're ready to, okay? You marry her when you're ready to, and you don't do it with the state. You don't do it with the government, because that is a trap. That's a trap. It's not only a trap for the man, but it's also a trap for the woman. And you hear a lot of women complaining about the legal system and the documentation they have to provide and the logistics of getting divorced, and they loathe it as well. The only thing is they know that they're getting a payday on the other end of it, and that is what brings them solace. So just a few tips for you guys. But a woman like this with behavior like this, I don't care how good she looks, she is not wifey material.
I'm convinced that every single girl has that one guy that the guy either never liked them back or the guy just never gave him a chance, that like that girl will literally drop anything to be with. Not even be with, but I'm just like, go on a date or go do something. I'm like, I have that one guy from high school, and I'm like, if he were to reach out, I would drop everything, all my hoes. I'm like, let's go out, let's do something, take me out, like I will hang out with you any day of the week. I'm like, I still stalk his socials, I still keep up with him, like I know what he's doing. He probably is, he doesn't even follow me, like he definitely has not seen what I'm doing for the past 4 years. I think I've seen him once and talked to him once, and I was like so nervous, and I'm like, it has been now 5 years since I've even spoken to him. Why am I so nervous? I don't know, but I'm convinced that every girl has that one guy that the guy just like really never gave them that chance, and it was like maybe close or something, and it just never worked out. But I'm convinced, I don't know, I'm convinced me and him are still gonna like, he's gonna come around one day. One day.
So, wow, that is a bomb that I know a lot of men are rejoicing because their thoughts, their beliefs on the alpha widow theory have been confirmed. And this can be crushing for a lot of men, actually. A lot of men are in relationships and their woman has been alpha widowed, okay? This woman obviously has been alpha widowed because she's still thinking about a guy from high school. Now, that's pretty deep. From high school is crazy. But she's still thinking about this guy. She still is interested in this guy. She's still in love with this guy. This woman's in love with this guy, and she's talking about having hoes and dropping all my hoes and all this kind of stuff. Ma'am, for one, they always try and take our terms that we've coined, okay? Especially when it comes to black men, all right? We're the ones who talk about getting hoes. White people were not talking about getting hoes. No disrespect. Y'all can use it now, but I mean, it is what it is. White people were not talking about having hoes and having rosters. That was something that came out of the black community, and then the dialect started because of online. It started to get disseminated, right? Like back in the day, if you was hear a white person talking about, oh, I got hoes, you would think that he's trying to be black, right? A wigga. So for one, you can't have hoes because you're a woman. These are not hoes. You're getting ran through. These are not hoes. You're the hoe. And then these men are, reaping the benefits of your whoredom. That's how it happens. Women can't have hoes. Y'all don't have hoes. Now, I can permit the term roster. Okay, now if you say, okay, I got a roster of men. Okay, yeah, that's more applicable because then it's also a sports analogy and it makes a lot of sense when it comes to women if they are doing something like that. But y'all don't have hoes. Men have hoes. Specifically, black men who coined the term to make it cool to sound like you have hoes. Now, I'm not saying having hoes is something that you should rejoice over or be cool or think is cool. But obviously, men respect guys who are good with women. So, having hoes and all this kind of stuff, for one, you're a woman, so you can't have hoes. I wouldn't even let a black woman get away with that. But then for two, you're also not black, so it's like, okay, you really can't have hoes because, 20 years ago, if you would have, been talking about, oh, yeah, I got hoes, I mean, it just wouldn't have hit, right? And, not saying that y'all can't use it now and all this kind of stuff, but the reality is that is something that came out of black American culture. Now, I'm not saying it's something good. It's obviously something that shows promiscuity, degeneracy, all this kind of stuff. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It sounds cool to have hoes, period. End of discussion. Nobody can debate this. It sounds cool to women, and it sounds cool to men. That's exactly why women are now saying they have hoes. But to get back to the alpha widow subject, okay? These women are so caught up on one man who smashed them crazy but didn't give them that commitment, who strung them along, who they thought that they were going to be able to be with, but the reality is he had hoes. That's what really goes. And this is the cycle, right? Woman gets alpha widowed. She gets alpha widowed because the man doesn't want to commit, and he could have ended it amicably. He could have ended it amicably, but the reality is she's dating alpha widow. Alpha widow has hoes. He's desired by multiple different women. He either breaks it off amicably or he exercises those options and he has hoes, okay? Now she's alpha widowed and she's scorned, and her get back is to slut it out, to have hoes, to manipulate men mentally. And the hoes that she's referring to, there's probably a few that she's sleeping with, but the other guys she's using as a utility. Food, Ubers, rides, all these different type of things that, you know, make a woman's life easier. Nails, hair, whatever. Send me to CashApp, send me to Zelle, send me to Venmo. Those types of guys, okay? The simps, the sugar daddies. These are the tricks, okay? She has hoes. She considers those hoes. It's not hoes. Women can't have hoes. But for the benefit of the conversation and understanding, we will allow her to use the analogy of hoes. But I really think roster is more applicable. But that's the cycle. Alpha widow, smashes and passes. He not really into you like that for whatever reason. This woman, she goes on to the streets, and then she thinks that she's being a player. She thinks she player, getting ran through. She's going to this dude's house and going to this dude's house and telling her girlfriend, oh yeah, I went to his house, man, I got so many hoes, right? When in reality, she is the hoe and she's getting passed around. So, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious how these women try and rationalize their bad behavior and their bad decisions in their dating lives. But it makes for great content, so that's why we break it down. But you already know what it is. It's your boy, Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Same relationship, of course, to the email down below with a screenshot of your cash out so I know you're paying your tithes. Man, y'all to be in. Remember, forgetting with the BS. You already know. Reclaim Your Throne.
Become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.